Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Coast Files, your podcast for ocean mysteries and true crime. I'm Chantel.
I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Megan.
We have made it, ladies.
1 year.
1 year.
One freaking year. Lindsay's
I
gonna
should have
pop
already
the
been off
champagne.
opening this. I'm like, this might take me a minute.
That's
okay.
Take your minute. Lindsay is the only one who had the forethought to actually get champagne. I thought about it today, but it is a holiday here, so the liquor stores are closed, and the gas station only had one type, and I did not want it because
And it's a holiday here too, but in the U.S. we don't believe in shutting down liquor stores, I guess. So
That's one of the few things I agree with, actually.
Yeah, because it's well, I mean, to be fair, the wine store is still open, but that would have been a bit of a trek, and it feels like -20 out here today, so that was not
Which for all of
Guys,
you
I hope this doesn't
Americans
make
is
you-
cold.
Ooh, I heard it.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a
like
good one.
foamy. You see that?
Oh, I like it.
Delicious.
Well, I got a cider instead. It's actually one that Lindsay and I have drank a lot. It's from
Yes, it was one of my
Brickwork
favorites
cider.
when I-
So
when I
yeah,
lived in
a little-
Which is a
Toronto.
beautiful wedding venue.
Oh,
That's good.
Holy, that was nice. In my ear.
In your ear
Chantel,
holes?
will you make my dreams come true and get married at Brickwork Cider? Thank you.
I guess. Why not? It's probably on like a 5-year wait list. I might as well sign
Whatever.
up now.
Yes, actually. I mean, that was a major plot point in Friends, so.
It was funny because I was thinking about that, and I was like, when's
sorry.
when's
Cheers.
Halloween on a
Cheers.
Oh yeah, cheers. Yeah, that
Cheers.
part.
Now I have my
Cheers
drink.
to 1 year, babies. Lindsay's got
1
my favorite wine
year.
glass.
I know. I always think of you when I drink out of this glass.
Mine is
The
also
opalescent.
opalescent.
Yours
but
also
it's from the
opalescent.
dollar
Oh.
store.
Very nice.
Yes.
Love it.
It's a skull. Whatever.
Should make sure my microphone's turned up. Yeah.
Chantel, do you want to explain the format of today?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of originally we were like, let's just find some articles that are kind of shallow dives and not anything that's going to be too deep or following up on some episodes, maybe a little bit. So I think that Megan, you're doing some multiple articles. I had some multiple articles, but I ended up with just one that kind of went on a little bit of a shallow dive on.
That's okay.
And Lindsay has an update for us. A little bit, kind of like semi-update. So
Yes. It's like
So
one
it's-
part. It's mostly just I didn't know this when I did my.
Oh, so it's new
episode.
info.
It's new
Mhm.
info. So it's nothing new for like the world, but new
But
for
for
me
us.
and for us.
Yeah.
Collectively. So yeah.
So that
Yes.
okay, so that's good. So it sounds like we all have a little bit of a different
Yeah.
take on it. But
Yeah.
essentially we want
by
to
the
kind
way-
of keep it light and interesting.
This is delicious.
Oh
God, I wish I
Oh.
had some rosé.
I
Yeah,
think
your
it's
eyes do
from
say it.
It's from France, and I think it says Cremant
Ooh.
de Loire.
Ooh la
So
la.
I'm gonna go on a
Damn.
limb, and I'm gonna say it's from the Loire Valley. It might not
That's
be,
a French
but
ass name.
that's where I did my semester in France. So I hope it is from there. Yeah,
That's
they had
cool.
really good booze.
Because you were in the south,
No,
right?
I was in the northwest, sort of.
opposite.
I was,
Yeah, I can't
So, like,
remember
far-
because
So the actual
I know you were in the
exact-
opposite side of where
Yes.
Vadim was, and I can't remember where
Right,
Vadim
it-
was.
where I was. It was called Angers, which is near like Nantes, if you know where that is. It's
heard of it
kind of
once.
near the Atlantic Ocean, but
Oh.
yeah. So
Where
it's
is Marianne
northern.
filmed? Was that where you were? That hellhole of a haunted town? I actually had no idea that movie was her movie.
where
Show was
I don't
filmed.
think it would have been exactly that because I would have probably mentioned it immediately.
Yeah, if it came out. It's
Because
just
I
a reminder, if
would
you
have
haven't
been
watched
like, "Oh my
Marianne on Netflix, please do it like now. It is the
Yes.
scariest show ever.
I know I meant to watch I still haven't finished it because I have just had no time to watch anything.
No, and also it's scary. Like,
and I
you have
can't
to
watch it with my
with
kids,
no
and they
kids.
keep staying
Mm.
up late, and then I'm tired, and I'm scared, and I can't. It's a whole thing.
God.
Vicious cycle.
I
Yes.
watched Blink twice. I started watching that today.
I haven't heard of that
The one with Chatham,
Okay.
Tatum.
You're
Chad-
so
Channing
close.
Tatum.
Channing Tatum.
Okay, I'm gonna
Looks
just
like a Chad.
open that up.
Anyways,
and
I'll give you a
to
Chad.
look later.
It's it only it's good. I like it. I'm enjoying it. I was like, so for like a suspense movie, you know what? It has like a 6.8 on IMDb. You're like, that's gonna be good.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's kind of where it's at. Where it doesn't have like an amazing, outlandish rating on IMDb, but it's I'm almost done. I have like 15 or 20 minutes left of it, but it's
Yeah.
It's fucked.
Have
guys.
either of you watched The Menu? Because I noticed it's on Netflix
Yes,
now, and I
we
want
talked
to
about
watch
that
it.
before.
I've seen it
Right.
twice.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
what I thought.
You
That's
have to
what I
watch
thought.
it. Yeah.
Twice. That means it's good.
Yeah, it is good.
Okay.
Well, remember
And
that
I
we talked
actually,
about how
I
Hannibal, it's similar, like the food is
yes,
so intense. Yeah.
Okay.
and I started watching The Moon, so I'm hopefully gonna finish
Oh,
that
that one.
tonight.
That's the
Or
one.
Moon,
All
not
right.
The
That was
Moon.
what I
Yeah,
talked
that's the
about
one
last week.
because I was
Yeah.
just editing that episode, and I was like, I should start this so I don't forget.
Also, at my parents' house today, my dad put on Annihilation. And I was like,
Oh, amazing.
Good. Yeah.
Love
forgot
that.
how like horrific and beautiful that movie is, because it really is both of those things kind of at the same time.
Yes, it is.
God, it's a good
And the
movie.
science-y end of it and like the
Yeah.
what the fuck of it all. And
It's so good. It's
so
kind of
good.
like, what?
Yeah.
Hold on, I keep coughing.
No. I really
Oh,
need to get
no.
Eric into watching more horror. He
We
doesn't
should
like. That's the one
babysat
thing he doesn't
him in.
like. Well, I got him into true crime, so I'm
Hey, it's
halfway.
just a hop, skip, and a
halfway
jump
there.
to
Okay, we
the...
need to find some then that would be like one of those like soft initiation into
Yeah.
it so that you can
He says it's
slowly
not
build up
because
more
he's
and more.
scared. It's
Okay,
just because he
sure.
doesn't
Remember.
like it. So
Okay, yeah,
Because
we
he's
if
believe
you find
you.
something
scared.
that maybe a horror movie around a topic that he likes,
Mhm.
maybe it'll work. So he will
Sneakers.
occasionally watch. Yes, it's a sneaker horror movie.
Is there a sneaker horror movie? If there is, let us know.
So Vadeem's is because he can't suspend his disbelief, unlike what I tried to say last week.
Okay, that is
but
actually what Eric sort of says too, because he's like,
yeah.
you would never. Why would you do it? Why would you go there if you know?
Or
I
it's like
agree.
he doesn't believe in like angels or not angels and demons, but like ghosts and all that kind of stuff. So he's like, I just can't I can't get into it.
So
And I'm like, that's
Eric's a little bit
fine.
the opposite in that he's like, I don't want to mess with that shit. That's his whole. Oh, I said shit,
Yeah, that's fair.
guys.
Oh!
I swore. See, I swear. occasionally.
Everyone listening, this is probably
Yeah.
the second time she's cursed on the
Yes.
podcast ever.
Yeah, and this
I
means that you have to
rarely
down your drink.
do.
So
Okay.
Well, yes. So before we started, you missed it, listeners. But we were talking about how I never swear, and that if I ever do,
Yeah.
you should take like 10 drinks.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to.
yeah, in the drinking game that we have made of our
Yes.
show.
No pressure.
I mean, that's just how we get
Anyways,
through the day. Yeah, let's
consult your
talking about
doctor.
the show. So yes, Megan's going to start us off, and this might be something that we do from on occasion too. If it goes well, we'll see how.
And also,
Special occasions and stuff.
well, and
Mhm.
I think I said it a few episodes ago, but I did get a job, and I'm doing like part-time training full-time soon. And when I am full-time, that'll just make recording a little more challenging than it is now. So this could be a great way of like, we're kind of overloaded. People don't have the time maybe a certain week. And we may
Mhm.
do one of
Mhm.
these to kind of just loosen up and just do some shallow diets.
Yes.
So
Because we love just talking to each other. So
I know.
It's true. We
We've
still need to
already-
get together once a week,
Oh
virtually.
my God.
Yes.
Well, and
Obviously.
Chantel lives, effectively just one city over, and I see you never. Which
Never. Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna
kind
do
of makes it easier on me that I don't miss out on it so
Oh,
much.
yeah.
So
it
we
was a little
almost see
bit-
each other as much.
it was a little bit
Yes.
easier when she lived like 4
2
blocks
over.
away.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
even then, she had to get a freaking awesome boyfriend. And I mean, my husband's just he's here. It's fine. But now
Yeah.
she's like often in love and wasn't coming around as much. Now we can plan like 4
Yeah.
months
Although
in advance.
we were talking about how the next time that Finley goes away, because sometimes he goes away for the weekend, that we might go and stay at the apartment for the weekend just to like have a change of scenery. So
That could be fun.
yeah.
Yes.
Once he flies in.
When that happens, we will let
Yes.
you know for sure. So
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to start us off. I have 3 articles, and most of which you probably have heard of. And we may go in a little bit deeper if it calls for it later. And I'm going to have 15 minutes to kind of go through, as will each of you.
we're actually timing this time, not
have
like
to.
Christmas.
We
Yes.
have to talk. Otherwise, it's like midnight. And what I think I'll do is that I'll tell you the story, and then, react as you would. And maybe we'll go into questions at the end of each
I live
one.
it.
And if I get close to 15 and I'm not done, then I'll
I
just
have a
be done the
timer
last
going.
one.
It'll go off. I'm cutting you off.
Exactly.
Here we go.
Well, I'll give you
Okay.
like a warning or something. Like,
Okay, I was
you
going to time myself. Do you want to time me?
yeah, I'll time
yeah,
you.
it'd probably be better so
I
you don't
have
have
a
to watch
timer
the
right
clock.
now. You enjoy.
Start.
so
You're on the
wait.
time.
Oh, right now?
Yeah,
God
it's
damn,
already
okay.
started.
Oh my God. Okay, wait. Okay. Okay, this doesn't count. So this is insane. Since August 2007, 20 human feet that we know of have washed up on the shores of British Columbia, which is in Canada, and Washington, U.S. There are even records that in 1887, so not 1997, 1887, a
Mhm.
leg in a boot was found on a Vancouver beach. Currently, that location is a beautiful area. It's a shopping center, and it's called Leg in Boot Square, named after the
Named
leg in
after
boot.
the okay.
The infamous leg and boot. Got it.
Can you imagine like the
The
pub
pirate
called
leg
like
and
the
boot.
leg and boot? I know. RCMP and medical examiners determined that in all cases there's no sign of foul play, and there is lots of evidence that it was natural decomposition and decay that formed the legs to detach and then remove themselves from the
Okay,
body. So
but
there
where are
was
these
no
bodies
chopping up.
coming
Oh.
from? It still
Let-
doesn't.
Didn't we not just say
Did-
questions at the end?
Sorry.
I don't know why you're so confused about legs and shoes and
I
feet
that are just
washing up. It's
detaching
normal.
from. I know.
Makes
It's,
sense.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You're
So
right.
it
It's
is
me
very
problem.
likely-
Who wants a foot? Come
Okay,
on.
so it's actually the very next sentence. It's very likely that these feet belong to victims of ocean accidents and self-harm, aka
Oh, okay.
unaliving. I'm not sure what you can say or can't say anymore.
Yeah.
Suicide.
Yeah.
And it's the buoyancy of the sneakers that then carry the feet that eventually detach naturally, carries the feet to shore with the current. Of the 20-ish feet, 20-ish?
20-ish.
20-ish. I'm having a hard time. I'm not even drinking right now. But here are some stats. In 2007, a foot was
Mhm.
found belonging to a missing man known to suffer from depression. So they kind of piece it together. In 2008, a foot is found belonging to a 21-year-old missing man, and 4 months later, his other foot is found.
I was about to
in
say, like they
May-
find the matching feet, like or is it just
Almost never.
Oh,
So,
okay.
I know. In May, a woman's foot is found and is later determined to belong to a woman who jumped off of Patulio Bridge in New Westminster, BC. In 2011, a man's right foot was found, and a few months later, in 2012, so I think it was like a 4-month difference, it was identified as a fisherman who went missing in 1987.
Holy shit.
Oh my gosh.
I found that insane.
And
I had
it's
a
still like preserved? Like how
inside the sneaker or the boot, or
Oh wow.
but yeah.
Do you go into
Um,
how they're connecting this to the people?
What do you
Is
mean?
it just DNA?
Oh,
Are they
yes.
just, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Exactly. So that's it. I highly suggest that you visit the Wikipedia article as a jumping off point because it lists every single foot that has been found.
Okay. So
And
they're always in
wow.
shoes.
Yes, that's how
Okay.
they're making
That's
it
how they're
to
and that's
shore.
why like nothing is eating them either because it's in a shoe.
The shoe was a great little habitat. Like obviously the foot's not like looking
Wow.
fresh, but it's protected enough that it's
Yeah.
yes.
What is it about that area though that they're all going to that same beach?
It's
Yeah,
currents,
it's
girl. That's how it is.
But,
so
like,
it's just
okay. So they
So
must
here-
be. It must be happening in like a vicinity, right?
I have
Mm.
yes, I have a photo.
But okay. Are there other other places out there that
So lots. So it's not one beach, but it's one area on the west coast of Canada and where the US
Oh,
touches.
Okay.
And so
lots
it's
of
just
places
this
for feet
current.
to get kind of stuck in?
Well,
little
and 20 so
inlets
far,
and-
and maybe we'll find more feet, or maybe they'll
Is
be
this
able
where
to
Seattle
identify
is?
more.
Somewhere around here?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
so
like
Washington.
you can't see it really from this
Mm.
picture because the other inlet map is blocking it.
Oh, okay.
It would be kind of on the coast there.
Right. But 20 feet.
But you can see like
Okay.
Vancouver and
Did
Victoria.
you say 20 or 21?
20. That we know of.
That we know of.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, and they
Pretty
even have
cool,
like the
right?
dates of when
I'm
they're all
glad that you.
found.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some are old. The thing that blows me away is that a fisherman has been missing for 37 years, and sorry, I guess not at the time. Like I'm 37, so that's just the birth year. But was missing for like decades, and then
Mhm.
his feet
Yeah.
were found. That's insane.
Wow.
I'm glad that you touched on this because I know that I've definitely seen that before, and I never really thought to. Look
It's
into
also
it.
been used as a plot device in a couple movies and TV shows because like it's a
Oh.
crazy phenomenon. And I think
Right.
sometimes like, it's what do they say? Like, it's people from Mexico that get involved in the drug trade. And it's like that kind
Oh
of thing.
yes,
And
yes.
and it literally
Mhm.
is not that. It is just
Okay.
boating accidents.
Yeah. I mean, I could
Unfortunately,
definitely
it's like
see that being a cool, like not cool, but like a theory
What?
that
I'm pretty sure that Bones did a story or an episode, and like it was like shoes and feet were in the shoes.
right
Life imitating art.
makes sense.
Okay, Article 2.
Article 2.
And I'm gonna read you the title, but it pretty much. Oh no, you know what? I'm not gonna read you the title because it
Okay.
kind of spoils it. The 58-foot sailing yacht named Mischief was owned or is owned by Ingrid Hale and her husband and a group of friends. So they co-own this boat. The
Mhm.
group regularly rents out their sailboat for charters, and nothing seemed amiss when two Russian couples reached out, completed the paperwork, showed their proper documents, and left the mooring in Croatia in July 2023. Apparently, once these con artists had the boat with their legitimate captain, they sent him ashore for dinner and then took the boat and disappeared.
Oh,
So
clever bastards.
once they're on
Ooh,
the ship, they disable all tracking systems on the vessel and they were gone.
Like, this is
damn.
insane.
Wow.
Sorry, when
Reminds
was this?
like last year.
Oh my
Well,
God.
July 2023.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they were able, I guess the owners were able to chat with another couple that was on the yacht with the thieves, like the main people,
Mm-hmm.
and learned that they had sailed from Croatia to Morocco, crossed the Atlantic, ended up in Brazil with the end goal to pilot the boat to the Caribbean and sell it. But in November, due to the amazing yachting community online and social
Okay.
media, the ship seemed to have been found. So a South
Okay.
African couple
Mm.
were in Brazil and they believed to notice what they thought was the ship called Mischief. Because obviously everyone's online, they're sharing it. So, they're like, oh, that looks like the boat. That's the same name. And they thought, like, this has to be the stolen yacht. So they were fantastic. They called the police and the owners were contacted. There's only one person aboard the ship when it was found. And the others had apparently left via airplane somewhere. Like, I have no idea
Mm-hmm.
where. There's almost no information. The investigation is ongoing, and I couldn't see if any arrests were made, except for the one person that was left on the vessel. And I don't think she was involved. I think it was kind of like an accomplice in the sense where they was paying her to be on the boat and kind of guard it. But like she
Okay.
probably knew it was illegal. And that is literally all that I have. But isn't that cool?
Okay. That is.
Wow. Yeah.
I
feel
know
like
that
it'd be
these
so much.
communities.
Yeah.
Go
I
ahead.
don't know. I mean, I imagine it would be kind of hard to like the boating community must, like you said, they look out for each
Tighten
other.
it.
And if you didn't change the name of the boat, like, come on, there's only so many
There
boats
was more
with.
details in the article,
Okay.
which, by the way, all of these articles will be posted on the
Mm-hmm.
website. So if you want to read more,
Yes.
there were some things that had been made to the ship to kind of just improve it, like anything. You get your first house, your first whatever,
Right.
you do improvements. But because most of the things were
Don't
on
we
the
all
outside,
customize your yachts, right,
I
everyone?
mean, that's what I would do.
That's what I did.
So I guess the people, the couple that spotted it saw some things that were like, oh, look out for this, look out for that.
Mhm.
I'm not a boat person, so I don't know. But there were some elements that made it even more like, oh, this has to be it because look at the name,
Right.
look at the boat thing. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I know a lot of these communities, like, so my ex, his mom used to sail. They used to
Mm.
sail to Barbados, Bahamas every year from the States.
Bermuda?
And
In the
no,
Bermuda
not Bermuda.
Triangle?
No. They got lost. No.
Key
But
Largo?
they said Bermuda.
Yeah. Sorry, that's what I was getting
Bahamas,
at.
come on, pretty mama.
Bahama.
But they do. They have like this huge community online. So if
Mhm.
things happen, well, mostly it's like for weather and stuff like that. So I imagine,
Yeah.
I imagine it would be the same for
Oh,
yachts. And
forgot.
like, I mean, I've seen some of these shows where they like sell yachts. Like these people,
Yes.
you know who actually
Also,
owns a yacht.
as
Right.
an avid below deck watcher, I was thinking
Mhm.
about like
So good.
Glenn and like and the Paris Fall. I can never say the name. So I sent you the photo of the ship
Oh, yeah.
in the group
Oh,
chat.
okay.
The yacht.
Let me
The
open it.
yacht. Well, you can call it a ship.
A yacht.
A yacht.
I feel like people who are owning large yachts want it to be called the proper name. Is it ship or is it
It's a yacht,
Vessel?
actually.
Yeah. I can't call it your boat. They probably don't like that.
Yeah.
Actually, some people do say boat. Like it's, I don't know.
That's fair.
I think there's always like with anything, there's degrees of pompousness, and sometimes they're
Right. And you
more
have the
intense.
richest person in the world who's not like that at all. Who's
Those are the
very-
best ones.
I know. Like you
Mhm.
don't even know
Okay.
they're like rich, and then
That's, I mean, if I were ever rich, there'd be signs, but I would still be kind.
It'd be all my cats in my mansion.
Yes.
The mansion that I bought for all my cats.
But it wouldn't be a mansion. It would be an old like Victorian house, but also it's in the woods, but also
it's a
kind
castle,
of witchy. But
actually.
it's cute.
I am
Not a house, it's a
100% getting
castle.
like once my children are grown and I do not have them to hug all the time, I am getting
Mhm.
cats or a
Mhm.
puppy.
Cats
or
love
both.
it when you squeeze
Or
them and
both.
chase them around the house. Is Jessica still there? Oh, there she is.
I mean,
If you're
Samus-
watching on
Samus
YouTube,
does.
You can see
Yeah,
my cat in the
I'm going to
background.
see your
adopt
butt.
an older cat that loves hugs. Because
Mhm.
you never know. Like cats have
You
their
mean
own
the
personality.
opposite of what Honey was, where she would just
Right.
growl at you
Honey
the entire time?
tolerated minimal hugging.
Yeah.
And when I first got home, she would allow it for like a minute, and then
Yeah.
she's like,
Minute.
yeah, there was
It's pretty
sometimes.
good.
Well, sometimes she didn't mind being held like on the shoulder,
That's how
in
I
the
hold
perfect
Jessica, and
perch
she
with, you know, under the
support,
chin
little
scratches
back
also
With the right
back
helps.
touches.
scratches. Yeah.
Right. That she was
Yeah.
okay with for like maybe up to even 5 minutes or something. But, it was no like, this was more of like benefiting her, I think, than
Yeah.
me.
I love
Like,
when
Lindsay
cats
in
are
would
her
like, it
mind.
literally
feels
come
nice
home.
until they want to attack you. It's like, yes,
Lindsay at one
yes,
point would
no.
be like, force cuddle time, and then just grab Honey and have her on there. And I'm
Yes.
like,
I
Honey's
mean,
not trying to
she
struggle. It's
knows
not a
when I'm coming
struggle.
home. Like she could run
Force
away,
cuddle
and if she
time.
didn't run
Yeah.
away, I figured it's game on. Like I can pick you up.
That's consensual at
I
this
was going to
point.
say consent is key.
Right. And sometimes
Okay,
she would sleep on my
so
bed, but yeah,
Mhm.
that was
Yes.
the big
she never does that. I have my last article,
Okay.
and this one is crazy. And I think I may have mentioned it at least, friend to friend. I think I may have told you guys about this because it's insane.
Mhm.
Okay. Also, how am I for time?
You're good.
I mean-
You have 3 minutes.
Okay.
But I mean, we can give you like a minute
Yes,
because I
I
can't
know.
talk.
Obviously,
Okay,
I
you
we're
have
just
to have
keeping rough
barriers. Otherwise,
times.
okay. So Friday, November 7th, 1997, in Latana, Florida, William Molt was out at the club with friends, having a few drinks, having a good time. Around 11 p.m., the 40-year-old then got into his car, presumably to drive home. He wasn't much of a drinker, didn't go out too much, and when he left the club, he did not seem intoxicated. He was in a good mood, seemed like himself, totally normal. It's not impossible to go out to a bar and have one or two drinks, not get drunk, and just be like, well, I'm going to go home.
Yeah.
Earlier in that night at around 9:30 p.m., William had called his girlfriend to check in and say, I'll be home a little later. But 11 p.m. when he left was the last time anyone ever heard from him or saw him. He completely disappeared. William would be reported missing, and there'd be no updates for over 22 years.
Oh my God.
What? Wow.
On August 28th, 19, it's right in front of me, 2019, August 28th, 2019. A resident of Palm Beach County was exploring Google Maps when he made a discovery that would solve a 2-decades-old cold case. Using Google Maps off of Moon Bay Circle, which is a street in a neighborhood, there was something odd near the edge of a pond submerged underwater. The resident then used a personal drone to get a closer look and promptly called police. Police went to the scene and pulled a vehicle from the pond, discovering skeletal remains. 1 week later, it was identified to be William Molt.
Oh my God.
So they figured out, because they can't know for sure, that likely William lost control of his vehicle, drove into the pond where he drowned. And there's evidence that Google had captured this with their satellites in 2007, but no one noticed it until 12 years later.
Oh my God. He
Wow.
lost control, they think?
It's hard to know for sure. And I think
Okay.
that the neighborhood may have developed more around that pond as they went. So he could have had too much to drink. It could have been anything. But they had no idea what happened to him. His girlfriend never heard from him again.
Wow.
And
So
he was in that pond
sad.
the whole time. But at least,
Damn.
I know, but at least
Wait,
they
I
found
think
him.
is this? I don't know. I feel like I've seen a picture of like a car in
Well,
like a pond
speaking of
before.
picture,
Are you gonna
there's
show
a
me? I wonder. I
picture
wonder
right
if it's the picture I'm
now.
thinking of.
And you only notice it when you really zoom in.
This
Oh
is
my
it.
gosh.
This is the one I
Mm.
didn't know the whole story, Megan, but I just saw I saw like it's probably
Okay,
a BuzzFeed
so
article or something.
Isn't that
but-
yeah? Isn't that crazy though?
For those listening,
Wow.
it's like a very
Oh.
murky pond, and you can just barely see the image of a white car,
Yeah, like
or might be silver.
Yeah, and there's
Yeah.
more zoomed out one you wouldn't even notice, but like
Like yeah,
zooming
maybe
in,
you think like it's a
oh my
rock or
gosh.
something.
Go to
And
the
also-
website or go to our Instagram. You can see it.
Right.
And
Oh
you
my
have to
God.
imagine that if you're walking around, like there's no trail near the pond. If
Yeah.
you're near the pond with the glare of the sun, you would probably never see it. And it looks like
Yeah.
it's kind of like at the
Yeah,
end
like
of
on a
of
dark
of a
day, you
bank.
wouldn't see that.
Yeah. And
So
to
we'll
be
have all
honest,
these
like there's
posted.
like a
Yeah.
pool in this photo, the first one.
It does. The
If
pond.
I'm out of
yeah.
a pool, like why am I going to this dirty pond?
It's
And yeah,
murky as
obviously
hell.
this
Like,
pond is not something that they probably
It's not
swim in.
something
It
that
does look
like I
very
would
murky.
really want to like. I know there's a path around it, but like you might not be.
Is it
so
a path or is it just
inclined.
like the edge? Like, I think it's
Mm.
probably like a
It looks like a
man-made
man-made
pond.
path, or like, like you could in theory walk around it, but
That's
that's
where
like
all
a
the
Yeah.
small
alligators
sandbank
and
or
crocodiles
something.
hang out. So
Yeah.
those are my 3
Wow.
little
Oh
micro
my
cases.
gosh. Okay.
Crazy.
Well, yeah, Megan, you are basically right on time. You went
Yeah,
30
look at
seconds
you.
over, but we'll forgive you.
Well, we had some
Uh,
little tangents. We can't help ourselves. So,
that's right. We asked questions. You could not have
yeah.
accounted for that. So,
Well, especially with like, what do you mean feet are showing up in sneakers on a beach? Like, what do you mean
How?
anymore?
What do you
that
mean?
they're there, okay? They're just there.
Yeah,
So,
Okay,
just believe
I'm
me.
I'm gonna take the next job of timing. Who wants to
Okay.
go next?
Well, if I'm thinking about video editing, I will go next. Who's coming for us? I hear
I think it's
police.
Megan. If they
Is it
found
Megan?
you.
Megan again.
Again, it's
I
always
mean,
Megan.
we can
I
just
mean,
chop this out. I don't know what.
No, whatever.
very
Uh,
unsuspecting over there, looking all adorable.
Oh, they're going the other way, so they still haven't caught me yet.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Still
Okay.
evading the police.
Yeah.
As soon as we find this podcast, I'm done for.
That's it. Okay, so mine. Like I said,
Mm-mm.
originally I had a few articles. I was actually going to update us on some Antarctica stuff.
God, that case was
But
crazy.
honestly, I found so many related articles to it that were like new and coming up that I was like, this just has to be the next Antarctica episode. So those are now
Okay.
once again in my notes for future.
Right.
And
And
whatever.
you just covered it
Time is a
recently,
circle.
so that'll be the next big thing. Antarctica is only gonna have more
Exactly.
updates for us. So
Yeah,
Oh my God, there's so much shit going on there.
it's my whole personality.
oh my
now,
gosh, what you're
is-
I'm sorry, I literally like watched. I just opened up
Okay.
your first photo. Okay.
Yes. So instead, what
You
happened
tell
was
it.
that Vadim actually started telling me about this. And I was like, babe,
The only
it must
reason I
have been
didn't
like a
share
story
it
resurfacing.
is because I thought I saw you already liked it. I was like, why am I sending her something? She's already
Oh,
seen
funny.
it.
Yeah. So he started telling me about this, and I was like, babe, that was like a couple years ago. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I thought it was
It
just some article
was?
resurfacing.
Okay.
But this actually happened on February 8th, 2025. So very recently to our recording and like a month before our actual release date. So this is a shallow dive into a modern day Pinocchio or Jonah, whatever you want to call him. I don't know if you're biblical or not, whoever's listening.
Jonah and the whale.
Yeah.
Yes.
Spoiler.
Yeah. No, so it's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's about this man on a kayak who was engulfed, use proper words here, by a humpback whale. So, as Megan said, the articles will be linked to our webpage. And this information that I'm about to tell you came from a Guardian article about it. They had an interview with him. So Adrian Semenkas,
Yeah.
24 years old, was out kayaking
So
with his
young.
father that day. It was his father's birthday. So they are avid and experienced kayakers and hiking kayakers. So they are actually in boats that can
Portaging?
basically. No, it's not. These are boats
Oh,
that are
okay.
inflatable, so they can literally put it down to pocket size and carry them
my
with
God.
them.
What?
Oh,
The
that's cool.
kayak is inflatable?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So they were on the Strait of Meligan off the coast of a Chilean Patagonia. And these waters are pretty frigid this time of year, actually. They're about 9 degrees Celsius this time of year, or
Okay.
48 Fahrenheit for our American friends.
thanks.
Whatever that means. Whatever that is. So,
That's cold.
this would be cold for
Yeah.
him to be in this water. So Adrian stated
Wait.
that
You said 10 degrees Celsius. What was the Fahrenheit?
9
again?
degrees Celsius, 48 Fahrenheit.
Okay. I was going to say, did you say 10 Fahrenheit? Okay, sorry.
No,
Sorry.
no.
You could- I was like, that doesn't make sense.
hot?
Wait.
What does that mean?
It's like, so he said that they reached the end of the bay that they were in, and the sea was very calm when suddenly this whale just appeared out of nowhere.
Like
And that there were no signs, there was no fish movements, nothing to indicate that there was a whale there. And he
Yeah.
said, I saw dark blue and white colors before feeling a slimy texture brush against my face. I closed my eyes to brace for impact, but it was soft, like being hit by a wave. He continues, when its mouth closed around me and pulled me down, I felt like I was in a whirlpool, lying down and spinning around. If it had eaten me, I would have died. There was nothing I could do about it. So the whale only had him in his mouth for actually a few seconds before releasing him, and his life jacket quickly brought him to the surface. And this was all caught on camera from his father's kayak because his father's kayak had
Did
a
you see the
GoPro on the
video?
front of it.
Did you see the video
I
Megan?
did. So these
Oh my
these photos
gosh.
that you
Okay.
have here are from the video. Stills from the videos aren't that great, but we can
I
probably
literally
link
saw
the.
this today, so if,
Oh,
I'm
funny.
glad you're covering it.
So I
Yeah.
I will watch the video later, and then we'll
Mhm.
definitely we'll put a clip in because
Mhm.
I mean it's not like a copyright thing. It's like
I had to
No.
watch it like 3 times because I'm like, oh my god, is he actually in the mouth? Like,
Yeah, he
yeah.
was.
that's so
So,
scary.
his father
Ugh.
was very stunned, but he said
Was
that
it
he just tried to
stinky?
remain. He didn't
Like
say
whale
whether it
mouth?
was stinky.
Okay.
Maybe because you're
I just
underwater, you're probably
assume
not,
because they've never
you
brushed
know.
their teeth ever, or they don't have teeth.
They're
Baleen. They've never
baleen.
brushed their baleen's.
Not even once.
I'm
So
imagining a
his
long to
father
I
said
mean, their
that
floss.
mouth is a
he
giant toothbrush. Maybe that's why they're clean.
maybe,
I don't know.
yeah, exactly. It's just brushing itself at this point.
Yeah.
His father said he was just trying to remain cool and calm and just instructed his son to also try and do the same while this was all happening. But due to the viral nature of the video, some scientists felt like they needed to chime in to clarify because there was a lot of misinformation being thrown around. So they wanted to clarify about a whale's behavior. So the Guardian spoke to Maria Jose Perez Alvarez. She is a marine biologist at the Universidad de Chile and Base Millennium Institute. And she
Cool.
said that humpback whales have a small esophagus and feed on small prey, fish, and krill. So they could not, quote unquote, devour or swallow a human. Humpback whales do not have teeth. They
Right.
have the baleen, like we said,
Uh-huh.
and they trap and they filter their prey. So it could not have bitten him either, she said. She
Mm.
did, however, say that due to the size of the whales, obviously there could be some injury or damage to someone that they could be hit by the body of the whale. So
Yeah.
another person also chimed in. His name was Guillermo Meza, and he operates a kayak tour company in the same area that they were in. And he said that they would never have gone that far in the bay in an inflatable kayak, and they advised maintaining a 100-meter distance, which actually is in accordance with Chilean law. You are not allowed to get within 100 meters of a humpback whale.
If you know
And
it's there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he said
Seems
that
like this guy wasn't intending to be in his mouth.
no.
Who
So
would?
they did both maintain that they
Okay.
did not know that the whale was there, that, there was no
Right.
fish, there was nothing to indicate
Yeah.
that he would be there.
Yeah.
But, the Guillermo also said that if you do happen to be too close, then all you can do is what this guy did, is just remain completely still in hopes that the whales just continue on past them
Yeah. The whale's like,
and not
ew.
engulf you.
Bye. Like, get out.
Well, and he
Yeah.
obviously was like, "This is disgusting," and spit him right back up. So
Yeah.
So
Probably.
that is Adrian and the whale. But I
Wild.
did then go down a slight rabbit hole of some other notable cases of a Jonah and the whale type situation. So
I'm so ready.
this is something that has happened multiple times. So in November, oh no, what happened to my notes? I clicked backspace. Sorry.
By the way, a humpback whale is, I think, the only whale I've actually ever seen in real life. So,
Oh, really?
I've seen some
Mhm.
pilot whales, which are like big dolphins.
so I,
Who
I
was
went
it?
on
I
a
was
whale, like a whale watching thing with my parents when I was a kid, and
That'd
a
be so
humpback
cool to see a
whale was
humpback whale.
there, and it came up, and like its tail came out of the
Oh my
water, and
God, that's so
because
cool.
sometimes you go on these whale things, you don't see. I've been on other whale
That's me.
expeditions and
I'm
saw nothing.
the worst luck.
So
Don't ever come with
I-
me because I will make it so you don't see
yeah,
any
I
whales.
was
talked to a
just
client
blown away.
Yeah. I was talking to a client at work, and he said that actually he was on a whale watching tour recently in St. Andrew by the Sea in New Brunswick, and he said he saw so many whales that they got bored of it.
What? So we're going to the wrong spot,
Yeah, apparently.
Right? Because I never guarantee whale sightings usually on these
which
trips.
is
Yeah,
fair. But I just,
Because it can't. Yeah.
I'd like to see one.
I will say when
sometime.
I went to Greece, we were going through to one of the Greek islands, and dolphins would just swim by the boats. They would just be constantly
Oh,
jumping
yeah.
out and stuff. And I was like, this, at one point, I've seen all the dolphins I need. I've seen tons of dolphins.
We
Like,
had
four
When
of
we were
you
coming
now.
back, I'm like, more dolphin. Like, this is still cool. I'm still gonna watch them,
Ugh,
of course. But
same
like,
dolphins.
but
we had a mom and her 2 babies following a boat we were on in New
oh,
Zealand
that's cute.
before.
A baby dolphin.
Yeah.
I
it
get
was-
more
I love
excited
that.
about a baby dolphin.
So cute. All the dolphins are
Okay.
crazy.
So,
as we know.
in November 2020, Julie McSorley and Liz Cortriel, I think that's how you say your last name, were kayaking in San Luis Obispo Bay in California when they were briefly swallowed by a humpback whale. They were watching the whales feed when they suddenly one surfaced beneath them, knocking them into the water and engulfing them. They stated that it happened too fast to even realize what had happened to them, and they wouldn't have realized that they were actually even in the mouth had there not been video footage of it. So there's the next photo, which is a still from the video.
It
Um,
looks insane, this photo.
And
Yeah.
is that someone actually in the
That's
mouth?
2 people in the mouth.
Oh my god.
So they stated that they both learned their lesson about giving wildlife their space, specifically while eating. But what was really
Yeah.
funny about this article is that Julie had to convince Liz to even go out on this kayak because Liz does not like the ocean, sharks, or quote unquote anything she cannot see in the water. And
Oh,
Julie
Liz.
said, kayaks are
Yeah,
very
the ocean's
stable.
not
I've
for
never had
you."
an issue.
And then she gets eaten by a fucking
Oh my
whale.
So,
But,
yeah,
like,
famous
what-
last
what-
words there.
What a story. If I was single,
Yeah.
that would be on my Tinder profile for everything. Like, here's
For
me
sure.
getting eaten by a
Oh.
whale.
Yeah.
This reminds, I don't know if you saw this video. It was kind of viral recently with this woman who works at an aquarium, and she's like as a mermaid in the water.
Yes,
And there's
I
a
did see this.
sturgeon that
Yes!
like eats her
Yeah.
head for a second. She's like gets out.
She's like, "Nope,
she's
I'm done."
okay. But
I
yeah,
don't
like
know-
everyone's like, she probably quit. I'm like, I hope she did. Like
Yeah,
if a sturgeon
immediately.
like literally sucked my head in its mouth, I
Even I would quit at that point. I'd be like, I'm good.
No, I'm like, I do not. Whatever you're paying me, it's not enough.
Not enough.
Babe, I had the worst day at work today.
He'd be like,
Yeah.
"Can you just make dinner?"
Yeah, like you get home and your like partner's like complaining about like, the coffee was cold or something.
It's like,
Yeah.
you have no idea.
Sturgeon ate
ate my
my
head.
face. Yeah, the whole thing. Okay.
You know what? Just for fun, we're gonna pop that video in here too. I'll find it and Chantel it in the
Chantal, you can
video,
put it in.
and then I'll share it on the feed when this comes out because that's a crazy video.
Yeah.
So the next one here happened in June of 2021 to a guy named Michael Packard, and he is a lobster diver off of Cape Cod, Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
And he was swallowed by a humpback whale while diving near Herring Cove
Is
Beach.
he reenacting
So-
it in this picture?
This photo
No.
is crazy.
Oh, yes. Okay. But wait. I'm going to tell you why that happens. So he's near Herring Cove Beach, and he's the type of lobster diver where they actually like pluck them off the ground. They're not pulling in traps. So he was about
Okay.
14 meters deep when suddenly a whale engulfed him, and Packard described the experience as being completely black and feeling the whale's muscles squeezing him. And he thought he was going to die, but managed to stay calm and move around, hoping to be released. He also had full scuba gear on. So
Ew. That would have hurt.
after about
to eat.
30 to 40 seconds, the whale started to shake his head back and forth and spat him out. And the ship's captain, Josiah Mayo, quickly picked him up and called to the shore, saying that we're going to be arriving early and we need an ambulance on site. So Packard was unharmed, but was briefly hospitalized for observation, and he left just with some soft tissue damage. All bones were intact, so probably bruises.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's believed that it was a juvenile humpback because those ones tend to feed on sand lice, so they're bottom feeding instead of like breaching and feeding.
Yeah.
And Packard was later interviewed on Jimmy Kimmel, which is what you're looking at there, where he reenacted the story. And they said it was really funny interview. But obviously was still a pretty harrowing tale. And he just said, I want to apologize to the whale for getting in the way. I won't ever do it again.
Oh my god.
I mean,
the
at least he
video.
got eaten by like the right kind of whale who's just like,
Yeah.
you're gross.
Well, at
Also,
first they thought it was a
Look
shark.
at it.
He wasn't sure. He thought that he was in a
Right.
shark's mouth at one point, and then there was all this commotion.
You would have
and
hurt a
he-
lot more in a shark's mouth because it's like
Yes,
all
it was just like a moment of like, what the
layers.
fuck even was this? And
Yeah.
then the captain of the ship as well saw a whale breach and was trying to understand what was happening because he knew there's a lot of commotion. He also thought it was a great white that it breached at that point and was like, oh fuck,
Are you getting
like,
to the next
what's happening?
photo? I didn't mean to skip ahead, but
I will. Yes, there is one more here.
Okay, I didn't go
Um,
yet.
Anyway,
Um,
so yeah, it
okay,
was just
that-
like there was all this commotion, and,
Right.
and
I
and
would
he
be
was just like,
absolutely.
thank God it
I'm
was a whale.
surprised how calm he said he was. Was he actually that calm? I don't know, but like I would probably be very scared.
I mean, I
don't know
think that
how
if
I'd
you're like a
But
lobster
if I
diver,
was
you're
going to be eaten by a shark or like a whale, I would definitely pick whale because it sounds like
yeah,
the survival
for
rate's
sure,
pretty
for
good.
sure. Well, they can't swallow you, so it's either like they're gonna spit you
Right.
out. It's just how
Right,
long are they
they-
gonna keep you down
Yeah,
for?
you got squished a little bit versus you got
A very
poked.
aggressive hug.
a lot.
Yeah.
Right, an aggressive hug. Yes.
So lastly, we have Rainer Schimpf. and he is a wildlife photographer who was documenting a sardine run near Port Elizabeth Harbor off the coast of South Africa in March of 2019. And Schimpf said he was trying to get a shot of a shark going through a bait ball. The next moment, it got dark and I felt pressure on my hip. So that's
It
that
took me a
photo there
second.
of
His
his butt,
booty
like
is, like, up in
literally
the air.
sticking out. Yeah.
As soon as my brain was like, I was like, is that a bump on the whale? I'm like, no, that's someone's
That's
butt.
someone's butt.
That's his butt sticking out of a whale.
This
Oh.
interview was hilarious with this guy. He's really
Oh.
funny. He said that he knew instantly that he had accidentally ended up in the way of a bride whale, which basically they look more like a svelte humpback whale. Like they're just not as thick, they're as long though. And he said that all he could do was remain calm and hope that the whale did not take him into the depths. The whale let him go within a couple of seconds though, and Schimpf said in an interview, he spat me out and everyone is happy.
Oh.
And he said, whales are not man-eaters. This was no attack. It was just it was not the fault of the whale, and they are really sensitive. They are gentle giants, and it was just an accident.
I mean,
So he
like,
got away
how
unscathed.
how they eat, they literally just swim with their mouth open for a while. That's
So,
how they
exactly.
eat.
So one of the
Whatever I
articles
catch.
said, no, and so one of the articles actually said that they said the reason why this happens, even though it's very infrequently, is because when they expand their bottom jaw, it actually gets in the way of their frontal vision. So whatever they were going for, it's like you're just in the way or you're not. So they can't help but
Yeah.
just suck in everything that's in front of them. So that's why
That's
they said
kinda
it's never
sweet.
deliberate. It's just kind of like I can't see anymore and I'm trying to eat all
you
these fish that are here.
swam into my food dish, essentially. So
Essentially, yes, yeah. So, yeah, that's my little shallow dive into some whales and people
And-
being eaten or
and you're
no,
perfectly on time, by the way.
Yes.
well, great job.
Yes, excellent.
Excellent.
Thank you.
If someone would like to time me,
I mean, Chantel, do you want to time her?
I got it.
no, it's your turn.
Yeah, everyone gets a turn.
We're ready.
Okay, so now I get to click on the next photo.
Yes,
Right?
You can
With the
open it.
green?
Well, yeah, you can open it. It's fine.
Okay.
I'm gonna do like a slight background as to where this comes
'cause
from.
this
for
means
our
nothing to me.
listeners. So it means nothing. You don't remember.
I
episode
remember
13?
this. You don't remember
Thank
that?
you.
Oh, sorry. Yes,
Thank
yes, I
you.
do. Yes, I do. Oh, but only because of what you told me before, and it may involve one or both of our husbands.
Right.
Or,
well,
like,
I
ocean
think-
husbands.
one of
Well, one of our husbands.
our husbands, and then one
And
of
our
our
other person that we
Canadian
just wanna make a bunch
like
of-
our Canadian fellow Canadians.
Yeah,
So-
but if he's like down to clown, like I'm interested, so I'm still on
Fair.
board.
yeah, your heart will go on for him.
Sorry,
That's a giveaway if
good.
anyone will get
I like
this.
it. I
So
like it.
what I'm
And
going
he'll
to cover
be back. Get it?
Yes.
'Cause T2. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Right. So let's what I'm going to basically do is add a couple little bonus information things to a previous episode I did from episode 13. So this was diving to the Challenger Deep. What
That's
is
a
the
long time
Challenger
ago.
Deep for people who are just joining us? If you have been here since episode 13, you remember. Thank you.
I do vividly, but just in case, like maybe.
So right. Well,
explain
actually, we'll actually go to episode 12. Chantel covered the Mariana Trench. So if you remember that, Mariana Trench is located in the Pacific Ocean. It's the deepest trench in our ocean that we know of. So we have, like we said, we've only explored about 5% of the world's oceans, but we have satellites and stuff and we can kind of see what parts are deep.
depths.
So
Yeah.
the Challenger Deep is the deepest part of this trench. So it's the deepest known point of our ocean. So you could fit Mount Everest in here and you still have 6,000 more feet to go. That's how deep this is.
And how many shacks? That's how I measure distance.
Exactly. I forgot to do the shack measurement. I'm
It's
sorry.
okay.
We'll put it up on the
Chantel will
screen
add
if
a couple
Chantel
shacks.
wants to. And we're just giving her homework. We
know.
just randomly throw out things for her to add. And
She's like, I better remember, or she'll be in the middle of it. Ah,
It's okay. I literally just do it.
You're
now,
making a
yeah.
note. Okay. So the pressure down here is obviously very intense. You could have 50 Boeing 757s on your thumb, and that's how much pressure.
I remember
would
that.
be.
Right.
So-
Yes.
Doesn't
yeah.
sound good.
No.
Right. So in case you don't remember this episode, basically it was discovered in around 1875. There was a British Navy went on a mission in the HMS Challenger that went around the world for 4 years, discovering different parts of our oceans.
That's cool.
They use a sounding rope, which is essentially just dropping a rope to see how deep it is.
Right.
With
Right.
And
the
that's when it
hammerhead on
was
the end.
discovered.
Yeah.
Another mission went back in 1951 and used sonar. And in 1960, the first manned expedition went down in Trieste with it was oh my God, Jacques. I meant to put
Jacques
these names
Cousteau.
up. No, not Jacques
I'm just guessing. Those are the
Cousteau.
two that I know.
Um,
We can add
I
it in
meant to put
later.
their names
Chantal.
up here, but I will just quickly tell you who they are: Jacques Picard and Don Walsh.
How can we forget Picard?
I know.
Picard. I know you have to be explorer if your name's Picard. Although this came probably before then, but whatever. Okay. So anyway, in 2012, James Cameron, our fellow Canadian and also director and also explorer, went
Fiance.
down in the submersible Deep Sea Challenger. So, which was actually pretty impressive because he I know, I don't assume he had an engineering background, but he oversaw this and has obviously millions of dollars that he could
Yeah.
spend on making this
Throw
happen.
at a background in anything when you have money to throw at it.
So my new piece
Go
of
on.
information was, and I made a post about this, I think, on Instagram, but I was like, basically Rolex sponsored him, and I was like, the Rolex went down with him, but he was wearing one. So I was like, okay, Rolex, but you're in a safe zone. Who cares that you
right, I
went down on
remember.
this mission? But Rolex actually did make a specialized watch for outside. So that's what my first photo is.
Okay.
So they made a one that could actually go down to the bottom of the deepest part of the ocean. So your watches say they can be water resistant and stuff. This one goes above and beyond.
Like big time.
Right. It can withstand that depth and that pressure. And it was so basically the arm of his submersible wore this Rolex watch that was totally fine and functioning.
That's a cool
His
robot.
arm is blinging.
At over what was his depth? Like over 35,000 feet down.
That's insane.
So my second picture is actually that Rolex had actually done the same thing for the 1960 expedition with Trieste as well. So
Oh, wow.
there's actually two there, and one's like the bubblier one is the one that actually went down on the outside of Trieste. So they
Yeah.
both went
Oh,
That's pretty
outside. So,
cool.
yeah, it's kind of cool.
And then
the
you can see on the
and-
inside it says Deep Sea Challenger of
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This
Okay.
is this was especially made for James Cameron and then for the previous mission. And you can see my third photo actually has a little article about it. So there's on the outside.
a Rolex
So,
oyster.
yeah.
That is so freaking cool.
Right. So if you want to buy a Rolex, congrats. But basically
Rich.
you wouldn't, I know. You probably wouldn't be buying one of these. Their regular ones probably around 300 meters, 1,000 feet though, which is still pretty impressive. Like you're not going to probably go down there that deep as a
No,
regular
yeah.
person.
Not on purpose.
So, you probably couldn't buy one of these anyway or pay to go to the bottom and use this. So you're fine. Now, if you are listening and you can't afford to, you better support our podcast.
Yeah.
You have no
We
excuse.
expect that monthly subscription.
Clearly
Exactly.
you have the cash.
If you can afford a Rolex that goes to the bottom of the ocean, please buy us a coffee.
I will expect to see you on our Ko-fi feed tomorrow.
Yes. So now the main part of my update.
I said Ko-fi, it's coffee. I fucked up.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's
Chantal.
coffee.
It's the first time that
No,
I've ever heard you say
it's
that.
spelled-
It's her fault. It's her fault.
Ko-fi.
So
Yes.
it's my fault.
We'll put it up. Please feel free. So
Please, give us
on
money.
another note, the thing I didn't know back then when I was talking about James Cameron and then our later explorer, Victor Vescoso, who went down in 2019, was there actually a little bit of beef between our Canadian pal and,
He's a
our
Texan?
future
River
husband.
Husband.
Yes.
Husband.
Right. So, yes, he's from Texas, I think. So, Trieste, the first mission, went down between 35,814 to 35,798 feet, kind of like from the point of landing versus kind of being down there for a bit. That number varies. So, I have a couple different numbers there. James Cameron went down 35,756 feet and then up to potentially 35,787 feet at different points along the ocean floor as he was going along. He spent a few hours down there. He said it was very flat and kind of barren. Um,
Mhm.
and so James Cameron broke the record for the first solo dive at this point in 2012. So it actually technically didn't clock quite as deep as the first one, but first solo dive, so he still broke a record. Um, Victor Vescovo in 2019 went down 35,843 feet or 35,876 feet. So technically 50 feet
Oh.
deeper than James Cameron.
Victor
So
Okay.
likes to go deep. Have
exactly.
to,
Not
And
mad
sorry.
he
at that.
wanted, he wanted that record from James Cameron. So he went on to secure that from the Guinness Book of World Records for the deepest solo dive. Um, so anyway, James Cameron decided to come out after. He wanted to speak to the New York Times and share his 2 cents on this claim.
Oh,
He said,
okay.
claiming you went deeper is equivalent essentially to someone saying they climbed higher even if they both went to Mount Everest. If you both made climbed to the top of Mount Everest and someone's saying they climbed a little bit higher than you.
I would still use that though. I'd be like, well, I went even higher. Like, I mean, I
Okay,
would.
but like if I'm gonna win a record for growing my hair the longest, I'm still doing the same thing. I'm growing my hair longer than you.
Yeah.
Like
He also called into question his claim in general because he said he was on the ocean floor for like 3 hours and he's like, it's flat down here. So he thinks it could have been a mismeasurement or it's just inconsequential because he's like, I've been there. I've seen that area. So like, where'd you go that's deeper? Like I've been through it and there's nothing like necessarily deeper. Now the
It's the
Woods Hole
whole ocean
Institute,
floor. Like, he could have gone to one little area. Like, that just
right? He
seems like
had
a
little like
random thing to say, James.
so the Woods Hole
It's
Institute, which
way
if you
down
remember
there.
from like the Titanic and
Mhm.
do you remember that one?
I mean, kind of.
Anyway.
Enough.
So they sent down a sub in 2009 and confirmed James' statement that it was very flat and barren. And they also questioned Victor's claim of finding a deeper spot because they had sent,
No
I don't know, estimated
way.
they were like explored it already too and thought
And
no, I guess this was
scans and
before
shit, like
James
all
Cameron
this.
went down because I heard it said 2009. Anyway,
Okay.
so Victor has stated he has great respect for Cameron, but disagrees about, the whole who went deeper thing.
Sorry.
So James Cameron had also stated that, it's hard to get an accurate reading in general because there are currents and stuff. So that's why you can't really use a sounding rope effectively.
Yeah.
So you have to use like pressure and stuff to determine depth. Victor argues that the technology was better when he went down in 2019 versus when James went down in 2012. So he was able to get a more accurate reading. But
7
they also
years.
account for a margin of error of about 70 feet. So potentially there could be an error. But
Yeah, because if
anyway,
I remember looking up Mariana's Trench, if you actually even look up the depth of Challenger Deep, it gives you a variation of what it is. It
Mhm.
doesn't actually say this is the absolute depth. It says between like 35,700 and something to like
yeah.
36 something.
Huh.
Now Victor also says, it isn't really that important, but, he does hold the records. So,
So it seems like he finds it very important.
right. Well,
They both
his
do.
whole thing was the explorers like checklist thing where I forget what it was
Yeah,
called,
yeah.
but like he
Right,
dove
because
to
he's
the
been to
deepest
all those
points of
places.
every
Yeah.
ocean.
Yeah, top of Everest, bottom of the trench, like all these.
Right. And now a lot of other scientists have also basically said it doesn't really matter who went deeper per se. The most important thing is learning about the ocean. And I totally agree with that. Like at the end of the day, that
Mhm.
was the most important thing. The both missions took back like sediment and samples and saw things. So like that was ultimately the most important part. So and there was also, maybe part of it was even that beef between Rolex and Omega. So Omega, the other watch company, did the same thing for Victor. They made a
That's
watch to go
hilarious.
outside. Yeah, watch companies. So Omega, it's
So Omega really wants to
obviously
be associated
another
with that too.
expensive watch. Exactly.
Yeah.
So now Omega can say that they have the world record of going deeper than Rolex. So it could be a little bit of that too. I
Okay.
think James Cameron's mission was also partially funded by like National Geographic because Geographic, like even articles I saw from them, they were basically they said he went down nearly 7 miles or 11 kilometers. They didn't even say the exact number in this couple articles. Because like I think they're just trying to point out that he went deep, he went to the bottom, and we don't care
Mhm.
about the exact number.
Yeah,
Is
like
what
I
I'm
think the
gathering
average
from
person doesn't really care about all those little details. Just it's the
right.
Yeah.
general.
Well, I
I
mean,
yeah.
and to James's point, and even what Victor said, where obviously I want to go Team Victor, but like to James's point is that they might have been at the same depth, and Victor might have had better
Yeah,
technology, but
Yeah.
both things can be true. They could have been
Yes.
at the same depth, but Victor's technology actually said the actual depth that they were at because it was better technology.
Better
So
technology, right?
yeah.
I actually I kind of take overall James Cameron's point because it doesn't really matter. You both explored the same area and
Hmm.
you're both doing it for the betterment of knowing more about our ocean. I mean, I think they're
Alright.
a little bit of an ego.
Yeah,
I
I
was
was
gonna
gonna
Actually, a lot of
say
an
say,
there's a
ego.
lot
yeah,
of
I
ego
mean,
here.
I think the egos
A
are
lot of
both
ego.
massive, but I think James is a little more sciencey. But I think it's more like he wants to
Yeah.
know, and everyone just ends up
I think
finding out.
I
But
don't think James Cameron went down to beat a record. I think he
no,
went down because he really wanted to and he wanted to explore.
yeah,
Because
It's kind
technically
of
Tress
like
went down deeper than James, and I don't think he cared about that per se. I think it was more just I want to see what's down there. I want to go in person. Like he
I want to say
loves
that I
deep
did
sea
it, kind of thing.
diving.
well, it kind of
That
sounds
and
like in
yeah.
the Antarctica where I said like how Norway made it there first. It was like, okay, but they were more like a traveler mission where the other mission by the other guy whose name I now forget. He was more of a scientific mission. So it sounds the same thing
Hmm.
where like they both went down for different reasons, where probably
Yeah.
James Cameron is more of like the scientific side, where Victor is more of like the I want to be on every,
I want to be a world
extreme
explorer
point of the
and
world.
bonus
Yeah,
science.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But it is like and also, obviously Victor had quite the academia record behind him, which I don't think James Cameron was, he like Victor went to like MIT or something and all that other stuff.
Mm.
So I
I
think
will
it is
find out
impressive
right
that
now where James Cameron
James
went.
Cameron
Continue on.
did all that without that background per se. So anyway, I like ultimately I think my stance is I kind of agree with James Cameron's sentiment, but Victor
Yeah.
can have the record, but who cares, right? He
Yeah.
did
And
get the
and like
record
to the
and
sentiment, we have a world record because we have a world record book for a reason, and it is normally like
exactly.
because the numbers can be fractional, but it's still a
Hmm.
difference.
Right. And
But
James Cameron still gets the first deepest solo dive.
Yeah.
And even if it's not the current one, you
Mhm.
still have a record if you want that.
I
So who
do agree
cares?
though, even from like my minimal research that I did during the Marianas Trench is that it is
Mhm.
flat down there. He's probably
Yeah.
right. 100 feet, like that is
I
quite
can
a
understand
difference.
being a little bit like salty, no pun intended,
Oh.
that when someone's like trying to like make a big deal about claiming that when you're like, I built my own submarine, I went down there, I explored it. So
Okay, but is
yeah,
Victor trying to make a big deal of it, or was he just kind of like
I
it
think so.
it
I
happened
think
and
he,
the
I think
record
he's
got put
pretty
in there?
happy about it. But
Got you.
he also deserves credit too. Like that has been, he's gone to the deepest part of every ocean. And
Mhm.
yes, he has money, but he could have chosen to spend his money on the beach in Cuba or Mexico or something.
so
And
he
he
wouldn't be
chose
caught
to,
dead in
He now
Cuba.
owns Cuba.
Yeah, yeah, that actually makes more sense.
Yeah.
yeah, but he chose to, you do sciencey things and explore. So
And honestly, sometimes if a weird rich billionaire wants to explore space, whatever, there's someone that now I'm thinking of in particular. But if it does
Oh.
benefit humanity, that is good. But I still do care about the purpose. And I think that with James Cameron, maybe he was still selfish. I think he just wanted to know and he was obsessed with the Titanic and he just wanted to explore. But it definitely was a little more of like a we're in this together, it's for the world. Whereas Victor was
Mhm.
like, I want to drive my Formula One race car to the marina and then get on my you know what I mean? Like a little bit more like
It's okay,
flashy.
Victor.
yeah,
I'll go with you though.
I
okay,
would totally go
Chantel
on
is Team
too.
Victor. are you
listen.
team fellow Canadian or team future husband? Megan. Which one?
Well, based on one Instagram message we got, one we know could be a psychopath.
Right.
The other,
Oh my gosh.
the other
We probably
makes some
shouldn't
of
even
the
talk about the drama we
never-
encountered by talking about him last
that's never
time,
being
but
spoken about.
You know what? They're
No.
both very interesting. So I would flip a
Mhm.
coin, but like to go with the Canadian
Yeah.
just kind of feels more homey.
I
You know,
know.
I
That's
get
what I
it,
was
I
kind of
get it.
thinking.
But also,
And
Victor just
Titanic
seems
is
like
one of my favorite movies. Still,
no shit.
It's so good. What? This is news, Lindsay. You've never said
it was
this
like
before.
one of the first movies
like
I
the
bought with my
Titanic?
own money.
with the double VHS.
Because it probably came. I probably was like 10. I don't know, 11.
I think we were about.
I don't know how long it
10-ish
takes
or
to. I think I
11-ish.
was. I think I was 9 when the movie came out.
It came out in 99, right? Oh, yeah,
97.
bubble
No,
window.
97.
So I would have been 9.
97, so
I
we were
guess.
9, yeah. Yeah.
So it probably took like at least a year for movies to come out on VHS back then. At least.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't
for
know.
sure.
It was
did.
forever.
It was a long
So,
time.
let's
Yeah,
say
it's
I
not
was
like now.
and I don't know if I bought it right away. But
Not like these back in my day. I had to wait
I
a whole
just-
year to see a movie again.
Both of
I
her
had it in
husbands.
widescreen VHS. So
Both of her husbands were so old that they didn't even have home movies. If they did, it was a family movie
my
that was on a
husband
reel.
is a baby. He's
Yeah.
younger
Oh,
than me.
that's your real
so-
husband, Lizzie. We're not talking about real
Oh my!
husbands.
Oh yes.
Oh,
our,
I really
our-
just want Victor
Our
and James
communal husbands.
to be
yes, our
friends.
communal husband that we.
communal. I just want all 5 of us to have a great time together. You know.
Yeah.
On an island
yeah.
that we own. No.
Well, we don't know. We're just there.
no,
Well,
no.
considering
We
our
ha-
coffee
we have
account
marriage
has
rights.
not surpassed $500, I'm assuming Victor has not listened yet because I feel like he
We
could
really need to get them on that.
James, Victor.
Listen, I've tried taking them and I've gotten
Considering
no
some of us have
response.
each
You've
gone
gotten
either
blocked.
way, you've gotten support. So
wait. Let me just check to see if I have been blocked. I don't think so.
Could you imagine?
Wait, wouldn't that be
Um,
great? Hold on.
Oh God. Well, ladies,
One
this
second.
was really good.
yes, right.
Um,
I know we're a little over 15 minutes now, but we had a little.
no,
banter at
honestly,
end,
by the
so-
time you like finished your information, it was like 16 minutes. So that's
Yeah,
perfect.
it was pretty
And
good.
we're not blocked, so we are
Yay,
still
okay. So
in.
we are tagging again.
Oh,
We'll have to do
we're
a
so
poll
unhinged.
of Victor or James Cameron on the.
Yeah, you
on
know what?
the-
This is the new Twilight for like this generation.
Yeah.
Victor, James, what's it gonna be?
Oh,
Exactly.
God.
So
Because
Well-
Victor is the more dangerous choice to say.
Right.
I think so too. I do like a bad
okay,
boy.
like I hope people liked this weird, like I don't even know what kind of compilation.
I liked it,
maybe?
so I think that's really what matters most is what I
Mm.
like.
right, we always aim to please you, Chantel.
You,
Thank you.
just
me,
you.
just
Thank
me,
you.
just me.
Well,
Well,
this is
happy
great.
anniversary, girls.
Happy anniversary!
1 year. My
Best
dinner
year.
drink is gone.
Love
I
it.
have my family now.
Oh, cheers. We did it.
Insane.
To another 6,000 to
Yes.
come.
Yes.
Yeah,
I love you both.
6,985.
And thank you everyone for listening, especially if you're listening
Yes.
at this point. You've made it to the end, so thank you.
Yes.
Which is a rarity
Thanks for
these
sticking
days.
with us. We
Yeah.
appreciate it.
And,
And we'll be back next week with something new. I don't know what.
yeah, I think it's my
I
turn.
can't
So
remember.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
it
start
is.
researching right now.
And it's gonna
I'm
be
gonna-
so good.
Go make dinner.
I'm gonna eat and then go to bed in a half hour.
We all have
Aw.
work tomorrow.
Yes.
So support us so we can fucking make this our full-time job.
Yes.
Yes.
Love it.
So I don't have
Okay,
to go to
buy
the
us
office
a
anymore.
coffee.
But no pressure, obviously.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
No pressure.
Okay. Well, we love you all.
Bye.
Bye.
See you next week.
Thank you for listening today. We loved having you. If you liked the episode, share with your friends, family, or anyone who would enjoy it. Also, take a moment to review our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. Leaving us a like or comment really helps. If you'd like to buy us a coffee, please visit our coffee page at www.ko-fi.com/coastfiles. Email us at coastfilespod@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram at coastfilespod, or visit our website at www.coastfiles.com. You can find the sources for today's episode on our website. See you next week with a new episode.